afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our annual sustainable event themed 20 Years of Sustaining Democracy, and it's all about the vote. Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you today and excited to see so many friends and champions of democracy. My name is Ana Velasquez, and I'm the president of the Democratic Women of Monterey County. You may also know me as Mayor of Soledad, and in that regard, you may know that we recently had some very challenging times in terms of keeping our South County democracy sustainable and respecting the will of the voters. I share this as today's theme is focused on the importance of our vote, but also on the current threats to our democracy by the recent waves of voter suppression laws across the United States and locally that put our minority and vulnerable populations further at risk. Today we take this opportunity to acknowledge these threats, but most importantly to resolve to work collectively in 2024 to mitigate these threats and fight for our democracy. Today I'm also pleased to be here to honor 5 amazing women who have contributed so much to our state, to our county, and to our region in terms of a sustainable democracy. These 5 women have ensured that the educational needs of future leadership development opportunities, voting rights, human rights, reproductive rights, civil rights, and environmental concerns of our state, county, and region are highlighted, discussed, and addressed. Their work makes our lives better each and every day. I would like our honorees to please stand as I call their names. Mrs. Sylvia Panetta. Incredible work that they're doing at the local and at the state level to advance our democracy. So at this time, before we get started with our program today, let's take a moment to remember that we are seated on the ancestral lands of the Esselen people who have inhabited and stewarded our coast for more than 9,000 years. Despite more than 300 years of colonization, genocide, and oppression, the Esselen people and culture carry on this day. With great respect and admiration for our Esselen ancestors and descendants alike, the DWMC vows to operate as reverent and respectful guests to honor them in action and intention here today. And before we return to the program, it's also prudent to note that members of Arely Garcia's family are here with us today. Arely's been missing for over a year. And we know that there's a disproportionate violence experienced by Indigenous women. We need to raise awareness, and most of all, we need to bring justice to Arely and her family. Can I have them stand, please? To recognize all the dignitaries that are joining us today, and I hope I didn't miss anyone. Please let me know if I did. But we'll begin with acknowledging Congressman Jimmy Panetta, who represents the 19th Congressional District. Former Secretary of Defense, Mr. Leon Panetta. State Senator representing the 14th Senate District, Ana Caballero. Our California State Senator representing the 17th District, Mr. John Laird. California State Assemblywoman representing the 30th District, Mrs. Dawn Addis. And former California State Senator, Mr. Bill Money. We also have with us Monterey County Board of Supervisors representing District 5, Mary Adams. Monterey County Board of Supervisors representing District 4, Wendy Rue Askew. Monterey County Superior Court Judge, the Honorable Susan Matcham. Mayor of City of Seaside, and my friend Ian Oglesby. City of Delray Oaks, Kim Shirley. City of Salinas Council Member Anthony Rocha. City of Monterey Councilwoman Kim Barber. City of Marina Councilwoman Christina Medina Dirksen. City of Seaside Councilwoman Rita Burks. City of Soledad Councilmember Fernando Cabrera. Monterey Peninsula College Board Trustee Area 1 Rosalind Green. Pacific Grove Unified School District Board President Carolyn Swanson. President North County Fire Protection District, Ms. Jacqueline Simon. Monterey Peninsula Water Management District Board of Directors Division 4, Karen Paul. Monterey Peninsula Water Management District Board of Directors Division 2, Mr. George Riley. Retired Monterey County Superior Court Judge, the Honorable Lydia Villarreal. Former City of Delray Oaks Mayor Allison Kerr. Former City of Salinas Councilwoman Janet Barnes. Former City of Marina Councilwoman Lisa Berkeley. Former City of Salinas Councilwoman Jill Lutz. Former Seaside City Councilwoman and Civil Rights Champion, Mrs. Helen Rucker. And we also have a candidate for Monterey County Board of Supervisors, District 5, Kate Daniels.
Anyone? Just Jimmy's wife. Carrie Panetta.
Oh, Carrie Panetta, the Honorable Carrie Panetta. My apologies for the oversight. So why are we gathering today? Although we are here today sitting together in this beautiful afternoon in Carmel Valley and all may seem wow, we know that tomorrow or even tonight, when we listen to our local news or our national news report, we'll be quickly brought back to the reality that we are part of a country and even a county that is some way in significant turmoil. We learned in the early months of this year with our atmospheric rivers of how fragile we are to the impacts of climate change and start to become more frequent and devastating, especially among our most vulnerable communities. Soon all the campaigns and election issues of 2024 will be upon us, along with all the misinformation, disinformation, tactics, antics, and threats that have been prevalent in our elections and even our government during the last 6 or more years. Coming very quickly in March of 2024, we have a number of critical primary races to pay attention to and that require our vote. Then in November of 2024, We have so many important voter decisions to make for our state, our country, and for our state, our county, and our country. That's why a major theme for us today, it's all about the vote. That is in the front and center of our program and everything today. It's a subject of the content on your table stands, and your table hosts can show you how to access the QR codes to see the important elections that are coming up, how to register, and other important voter information. We even have hard copy voter registration forms at our check-in table. Your vote has never been more important. This is probably the single most important election year of our lives. Democracy is literally on the agenda. Voting is the most impactful way we can protect our rights, and make no mistake, there's definitely been a rollback on our rights, especially our reproductive rights. And you already know this. This is why you're here today, and why you are supporting and contributing to the Democratic Women of Monterey County. Your support helps to ensure we're able to fund candidate races, especially for women candidates that preserve and defend our democracy. And so I thank you, and I thank all of our sponsors and all of our in-kind donors and electeds who provided items for our auction today. We are grateful for your commitment. Let's give them a big round of applause. Sustainability has been foundational to the Democratic Women of Monterey County since its inception 20 years ago. In fact, today we are celebrating 20 years of the DWMC, and I'd like to acknowledge two of our original founding members who are here today. Please stand to be acknowledged. Mrs. Pris Walton and Mary Ann Key. You have our gratitude, and thank you for your vision and making our county a better place. Thank you. Now it's my honor to share with you the mission of the DWMC and the importance of this annual sustainability event. Our mission is that we are volunteers who create opportunities for our members to interact, to participate, and to educate our community on key political and social issues. We champion democratic candidates and causes with an emphasis of women and gender equity. So why is this annual sustainability event critical? Because it helps us to support our election of qualified democratic women in local and state races. Last year, with your support, we were able to contribute more than 50,000 to political issues and races across the county. That deserves a big round of applause. As we celebrate today, you'll see that reading and education are pillars of a sustainable and healthy democracy. Mrs. Sylvia Panetta realized that more than 20 years ago. Reading and education can serve as tools to understand the world around us, function productively, protect our own rights, and defend the human rights of others. Reading and education keep us informed about our government and impacts to our safety and the safety of our environment. They empower us to become community supporters, active civic leaders, and even elected officials. Today we celebrate the impacts of Monterey County Reads with more than 3,900 volunteers trained to support reading in schools, with 10 participating schools district-wide, with more than 19,000 students impacted. What an impactful contribution to Monterey County. I think that deserves a big round of applause. So today we celebrate community impacts. When you look around our event space, you'll see that we are recognizing champions of democracy. And we have specific calls to action with a focus on reading banned books, leadership in all areas of society, championing reproductive rights, ensuring human and civil rights. Now, I am proud to say that I have other sisters with me from our Democratic Women of Monterey County Board that are here with us today, who are volunteering and are serving also as your table hosts for today. And I'd like them to stand up so you know who they are, and we can also recognize them with the, we're all wearing the gray vote t-shirt. So we can have our board please stand up. We also have many supporter volunteer members, and you'll see them wearing the blue vote t-shirt. So if I can have all of our volunteers please stand up so we can give you a big round of applause. Thank you. And also at this time, before we begin, I know everybody's hungry, so we're almost there. So before we begin, I would like to thank Neil Estep, who is the owner of Hacienda, and he's hosting us today. This is I believe our second year here. So now can you please join me and share a few words with our guest today?
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you all, and I'm so honored to be here amongst you and so many great people in our community as well as women. So let's give it up for the Democratic women. My name is Niall Estep, and I'm the owner-operator here at Hacienda. And before sharing a little history of the space, I wanted to do a quick little poll and see, has anybody been to Hacienda in the last 2 years? Okay, so thank you. We appreciate your support. It really means a lot. Had anybody come to Hacienda when it was the hay and feed store prior? Okay, there's a lot of you. Now I think I'm going to lose a couple of you on this one. Has anybody come when it was Walter's Hacienda Market? We have a couple here. We have a couple here. I thought I'd get you on that one. And so, you know, to be frank, our goal here at Hacienda is to highlight all the past uses and history of the space and celebrate our Carmel Valley community. Growing up in Carmel Valley, the feed store and the hay maze, and I don't know if you can see it, but that little train were core things in my childhood. My grandpa was part of the Carmel Valley Kiwanis Club for 30 years and served the community in various forms. I'm proud to say I am now a Carmel Valley Kiwanian and want to continue that legacy of supporting the community and creating a space to do so. In addition to the feed store, thank you. In addition to the feed store, we also wanted to celebrate the rich history of farming. My other business, Good Roots, manages farmers markets and events, specifically one in Carmel by the Sea on Thursdays from 10 to 12. In honor of the Wolter family who used to farm the 45 acres there, I was able to purchase 3.5 acres where we were farming it, and we have a variety of fruit trees, tomatoes, pumpkins, and other seasonal produce. We actually just did a really cool U-pick where all the kids went out there and cut the pumpkin off the little patch and did a little animal experience. It was really cute. It's awesome. So yeah, we also have some bees back there. Those are important. I'm sure you all know. The Wolters past tending this soil is still celebrated and appreciated in bounty today. Today you'll be enjoying tomatoes grown from our farm, as well as herbs from our garden. My beautiful partner, Patrina, back there, she makes all of it happen. She also did the flowers today, so let's give it up for Patrina. To my right is our little market. It's called Radici. And Radici in Italian means roots. And Patrina and I cherish our roots. Her roots from Italy, and my roots from the hills of North Carolina, England, and Mexico. We feel as we enter the era of dependence on digital technology, we need places to practice and keep alive dying art forms, like pottery, blacksmithing, and farming. So our motto here at Hacienda is a place to gather and grow. And today we're grateful to gather and grow a better future and celebrate the Democratic women and their accomplishments. Thank you very much.
So thank you Niall, and I'm sure that we're all going to enjoy some of his delicious meal that they prepared for us today. But at this time,
Democrat, Republican, disinformation. But we have this incredible person here who, if you look at her endorsement list, has been endorsed across the board. And it's not because she's what's the word? Rhino? No. Dino. No, right, sorry, Dino, oh my God, right. But it's actually because she has an incredible ability to negotiate and work with people. So on that note, my bias, I don't have my pin because I gave it away again, is please vote for Kate Daniels, but I'm not supposed to be doing that right now, so let's go back to our auction. Yay, Kate, thank you. And working with Kate is the former and wonderful former mayor of Delray Oaks, Allison Kerr, who has been instrumental in helping us get all of our auctions together. So I'm excited to be here despite my nerves, to be your auctioneer. The DWMC has been a huge part of my life since 2017. And as Anna pointed out, 20 years ago, Chris and Marianne sat with other women, grassroots activists around Melanie Billett's dining room table. How many of you knew that? I didn't, and I would really encourage you to reach out to Marianne and to Chris to hear some of the stories of how we came together. But these folks committed themselves to the betterment of our county by helping to advance women and their allies in political office and to educating community members about the key themes and issues which are foundational to our local, state, and national legislation. Honestly, I'm in awe. So how far we have come, and who would have thought we'd be here today? As we look to the 2024 elections, we know it's going to be a bumpy ride. And with your help today, you are and will continue to be a partner with us, the DWMC, ensuring a safe ride to democracy in which we all can thrive at every level of government.
So we are here to celebrate, and we want to make sure that we celebrate the amazing women that we're here to honor. So I do want to make an announcement. I know we did have scheduled Speaker Rivas that he was going to be here today. He really wanted to make sure that he honored the women that are going to receive some of the awards today. He sends his regrets and he's not able to join us, but he really sends his congratulations and thank you for all of the work that you've been doing in our community and our state to really change our democracy. We do have, I want to recognize that we do have Speaker Rivas District Director Dominic Rivas, who's here with us on his behalf. Dominic Apologize for that. Dominic Durst, I'm changing his name already. Well, thank you so much. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with our highlight for today, which is our honorees. So just wanted to just really quickly talk a little bit about some of the criteria that we utilized this year to evaluate our honorees. That we really considered critical elements that require to create sustainable democracy in Monterey County and our state. We saw that visionary leadership, community leadership, and civic leadership were all essential elements to democracy, and we found the women in our state and in our county who meet that criteria, and those are the women we are honoring today. This year, our DWMC Visionary Leadership Award is a capstone award. The criteria for this award includes history of public service in support of women's rights and sustaining American democracy, human rights, and the environment. Upholds and works to improve the values provided in the DWMC platform, serves as a role model for others, exemplifies leadership behaviors and relationship skills, has earned the respect and admiration of others, is known for collaboration and cooperation across diverse interests, is dedicated to breakthrough efforts for women and forward progress on women issues, and also it aligns with the DWMC platform issues, is a creator of change, and has demonstrated support of diversity, equity, inclusiveness, and belonging, has significant accomplishments and our results at the state or local level, is able to speak to power and change the course of events that benefit women. We all know that this year's honorees for the Visionary Leadership Award is so worthy of this recognition. Here to tell us about her is her 17-year-old granddaughter, Giovanna Gia Panetta, a high school senior at Carmel High School. She is co-captain of the varsity tennis team and plays singles. She is a member of the biology club and co-founder of the reading club. She is a member of the AIM Labs and Ohana Youth Advisory Council. She has presented at symposiums on youth mental health, works as a math tutor at Mathnasium, and is an accomplished piano player. She strongly believes that life is worth living, and she wants to help anyone that thinks otherwise. Please help me welcome Gia Panetta.
I am very happy to introduce the recipient of this year's Democratic Woman of Monterey County's Visionary Leadership Award, Sylvia Panetta. I have known this impressive woman my entire life. As you may have guessed, she's my grandmother. Sylvia Panetta is the co-chair and CEO of the Panetta Institute of Public Policy. She and my grandfather, Leon Panetta, founded the Panetta Institute in December of 1997 with a mission to encourage young people to pursue lives of public service. Sylvia has decades of demonstrated service to the community. She started her career as a nurse after graduating from St. Joseph's College of Nursing in San Francisco. Prior to that, she attended Dominican College, where she met Leon at a dance at Santa Clara University. Naturally, Sylvia has a particular interest in healthcare and has served as honorary chair for numerous fundraising campaigns for nonprofits such as the Hospice of the Central Coast, the Visiting Nurses Associations of Santa Cruz County, and the Central Coast and the March of Dimes. Sylvia's community involvement also started with an interest in public education. All three of her sons attend public schools where she served on parent committees. She was the founding executive director of the Foundation to Support the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, a nonprofit organization designed to promote and provide grants to programs that service children from that district. That focus then extended to her founding the Monterey County Reads program, which began in 1997 and has provided one-on-one reading assistance to approximately 20,000 students. Additionally, the Sylvia Panetta Scholarship Fund, which was established in 1990, helps financially disadvantaged second-year students continue their education at four-year institutions. My grandmother is a strong role model for young women like myself. In addition to being an involved parent to 3 boys, she directed 5 congressional district offices in the 16th Congressional District, now the 19th Congressional District. She also directed each of my grandfather's re-election campaigns from 1980 to 1992. There is no question that my grandmother paved the way for my generation of young women to pursue positions of leadership and to fully engage in public service. My grandmother is still very busy overseeing the day-to-day operations of all of the Panetta Institute's programs and projects, including the Congressional Internship Program, the College Education and Leadership Program, the Panetta Lecture Series, the Law Student Fellows Program, the annual Jefferson Lincoln Awards, and Monterey County Reads. Despite all of that, she still makes it to my piano recitals and tennis matches. It is my pleasure to introduce this woman of distinction and this year's visionary leader, my grandmother, Sylvia Panetta.
My goodness, Gia, that was great. You gave my speech for me. Where are you? Let me put my glasses on. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here, on a Sunday afternoon and for celebrating the work of the Democratic Women's Club. This is exciting, and it's an honor for me to receive the Visionary Leadership Award. I'm particularly honored, of course, to have my granddaughter, Gia, who to introduce me. And we also have here, as you know, my son, Jimmy, the representative for this area, and his wonderful wife, Carrie, who is a Monterey County judge. And the man who drove me here, Sylvia Panetta. I really do believe that our greatest possession, Leon and me, is our 3 sons and their daughters-in-law. We're especially proud of our grandchildren, like Gia. We have 5 other. Altogether, we have 6 grandchildren who live as far away as Minneapolis, Minnesota, and also here in Monterey in Carmel Valley. One of my grandsons, Michael, is out to sea. He is a lieutenant in the Navy and an officer. We're very proud of him. Siri, Gia's sister, is a freshman at Harvard and doing very well there. We're very proud of her. Then we have 2 other grandchildren 3 grandchildren in Minneapolis. Elizabeth, who is a social worker, Michael, who is an electrical engineer, and on the side, quite a very, very good chef, and then their little brother, Tyler, who is in grammar school. I deeply appreciate receiving your award for 2 important reasons. First, because it comes from women who have dedicated themselves to supporting responsible leadership for our democracy. And second, because you are Democrats who have worked hard to elect good Democrats to office, especially those with whom I happen to have a close relationship. Thank you. Like you, all of you, I've devoted a good part of my life to public service. As a nurse, as the district director for 16 years in Leon's congressional office, as deputy director for the staff and finance at the President's Crime Prevention Council under President Clinton, when Leon was chief of staff for him. But the job you might appreciate the most is that for 16 years, I ran Leon's campaigns for Congress. I understand what it takes to run for office, the money that must be raised, the intense scheduling to reach as many constituents as possible, the volunteers that have to be mobilized, the events that have to be organized, and the issues that need to be addressed. You, the Democratic women of Monterey County, understand what campaigns are all about because you understand what democracy is all about. Today, more than ever, it is essential that we are all engaged to make every vote count and to elect responsible leaders who will put country ahead of party. Leon and I believe strongly in the importance of giving back to our country. The purpose of the Panetta Institute is to encourage, men and women to achieve the American dream through education and through public service. Now, let me describe why Leon and I established our institute. Because we worked with then Chancellor Barry Munitz, who was the chancellor at the time of the CSU system throughout California, we had worked with him to establish the CSU campus on the former Fort Ord, which we now call CSU Monterey Bay. We had a good relationship with Barry. We worked with him closely because Leon wanted to get a campus there on the former Fort Ord. Dr. Munitz encouraged me to begin a student kindergarten through 3rd grade reading program that we named Monterey County Reads, based off the America Reads program, which was a national local volunteer program. This involved recruitment, it involved sponsorship of volunteers, training of volunteers, and placing those volunteers in the classroom to read with children one-to-one, not groups, but one-to-one. And that took special training of our volunteers. Since the program's beginning, more than 3,900 volunteers worked over 135,000 hours reading with over 20,000 students in 10 school districts throughout Monterey County. Unfortunately, since COVID, we were precluded from continuing the program, but we hope to return our volunteers to our Monterey County schools very soon. In fact, we're working on that now. Soon after, in late 1997, Leon decided to create a lecture series that could be provided in person, on television, and later online. This turned out to be an annual 4-part series each spring with knowledgeable speakers on stage, moderated, of course, by Leon. This past year, Leon and the Panetta Institute hosted the 25th year of this program. We also created a leadership program for CSU student body presidents. This was done over a number of years. And in June of this year, we completed 24 years of hosting this program with speakers from local, state, and federal bodies of government, business leaders, leaders in sports, leaders in the military, and much, much more. Over those years, we have hosted 639 student leaders. One of our premier programs is the Congressional Internship Program, where each CSU president nominates a student. We then interview and select the students to become interns to serve in the offices of members of the California Congressional Delegation. Thus far, we have hosted 576 interns. We keep them for 2 weeks at the Panetta Institute. We bring in speakers, we train them about what it is to be in a congressional office, what you do as an intern, and we teach them about the issues. So when they go out there, they are ready to work. Now we tell them, you're not the chief of staff, you're not a legislative director, you are an intern. And so when they say jump, what do? How high? You got it. You know what? People, congressional offices call us constantly, asking us to send them an intern from the Panetta Institute, because not only do they know what they have to do, they do it well and they do it carefully. Another important program is something that you know about, and that's the annual Jefferson Lincoln Awards, an evening to honor lives of public service. We have honored 67 honorees over the years, and this year, this program will be held on Saturday, November 11th, mark that down, at the Inn at Spanish Bay. We'll honor 3 distinguished members of the House and the Senate. Senator Angus King of Maine, thank you, an independent. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota, a Democrat. And United States Representative Mike Gallagher, a Republican. It also serves as our annual fundraiser, and I hope you can make it. There are also other programs we've developed and hosted. They all involve students of different ages and backgrounds. Incidentally, We financially support giving students these opportunities, and the Chancellor of the CSU system also contributes to our program. Our goal is to inspire a new generation of leaders in our democracy. The best way to invest in our future is to invest in men and women who are willing to serve and give back to our country. Leon and I are very proud of the Institute. We have a very talented and hardworking staff who work and teach alongside of us, and we've got a lot done in Building 86E at CSU Monterey Bay on the former Fort Ord. And as the children of immigrants, let me tell you, we have lived the American dream. And now we want to make sure that all young men and women have the same opportunity. Thank you again to the Democratic Women of Monterey County for the award you have honored me with, and for your continuing support for Jimmy and for our democracy. God bless you, and God bless our country.
To advance the democracy in our community. And so at this time, I know we have two obviously very special guests that do want to say a few words. So if I can invite former Secretary Leon Panetta and your son, Congressman Jimmy Panetta, to come up. We also have some very special awards. So after the recognitions are provided, the other offices that are here with us, state offices and some of our county offices, will come up at the end and take a photo.
Well, it's about time you honored the right Panetta. Sylvia is responsible, let me tell you, Sylvia is responsible for whatever success the rest of us have had in the Panetta family. She's dedicated, she's loyal, she's a worker, she has given of herself to all of the jobs that we've had. By the way, Sylvia and I, this Thursday, will have known each other for 65 years. This Thursday, September 28th is when we met at an open house at Santa Clara. We've been married 61 years. So, I know Sylvia. And probably the most important thing about Sylvia is the values that you honor by giving her a leadership award. Let me just give you a brief sense of those values. When I was director of the Office for Civil Rights, and I was having a difficult time because I wanted to enforce equal education laws, it was a moment where I thought I might very well lose my job, which I did. But I remember stopping and asking Sylvia, look, if I keep enforcing the law, I'm likely to lose my job. And she looked at me and said something I've never forgotten. She said, Leon, you have to do what's right. You have to do what's right. That value is very important, and it's very important today. We live at a pivotal time. We live at a time, very frankly, when there's a tremendous amount of dysfunction. I've often said in a democracy we govern by leadership or crisis. Too often today we are governing by crisis, not leadership. And so it is very important that our leaders understand they have to do what's right. Speaker McCarthy has got to stand up and do what's right for the country. And what we pledge today as Democrats here is the most important check and balance in our system. We, the people, have to go out and make sure we elect leaders who understand that you have to do the right thing for the country. Thank you.
afternoon, everybody. I am Jimmy Panetta, United States Representative, but boy, am I proud to be known as the son of Sylvia Panetta. On behalf of Congresswoman Lofgren and myself, we put together a congressional resolution for the congressional record that basically describes many of the things that you heard. But I can tell you, as I look at this CR, as they're called, as I look at this CR, the vision that I see is a lot of the hard work that my mother did throughout her life. Obviously, as a nurse, she understood the importance of what it means to give personal service. And I can tell you that that personal service, that not only that she does today with my father at the Panetta Institute, but that personal service that people of the Central Coast experienced when she was district director for my father, made me realize, and made my brothers realize, that behind every successful man is a very, very strong woman. We saw that in my family. I see that in my family today, my immediate family today. And it is what all of you are about. I can tell you that because my parents did a good job keeping politics off the kitchen table. We never talked about their work. They did not want us to have my dad's life. They wanted us to have our own lives. That's why I was a Carmel Valley kid, thank goodness. And that's why I remember Walters here, when you could actually go there and buy alcohol without an ID at times as well. But that's a whole nother story. Niles, you'll remember that one. Yeah, exactly. But what I can tell you, it was the stories I heard outside of our house. To this day, I hear people make it a point to come up to me and not talk, sorry Dad, not talk about the work my dad did as SecDef or CIA director or as OMB director or White House Chief of Staff. What they make it a point to tell me about are those personal stories of personal service that my mother provided to each of them for the 16 years that she was district director. When they had a problem with the federal government and nobody was helping them, they went to my dad's office. They went to my mom. And my mother made federal government work for them. And let me tell you, they never forget it. They'll never forget it because it's through that work that they were able to affect people's lives. I say that based on the stories I hear over and over, especially when it comes to immigration. People who were bringing a loved one in and they were having a problem with that. They went to my mom and my mom got that loved one in through the immigration process. And now that person tells me, not only were they able to raise a family here, but their grandkids are here. And that makes me realize that you can have all the vision in the world, but unless you do the hard work, that's how you fulfill that vision. That's what inspires me to do my job, to make sure that federal government works for you because of the work that they did to make federal government work for their constituents. And so it is with a great honor to present to my mother a congressional record that Zoe Lofgren and I did that shows her work that will be forever ingrained in the annals of congressional history. But let me tell you, she doesn't need a CR for her work to be ingrained in Congress. She did it herself. And for that, I say congratulations.
Thank you so much for all those amazing words. And as a district director for a state senator, I can appreciate Mrs. Panetta's work at the district level. So thank you so much for that. So at this time, we also have other certificates, a resolution, also a state assembly resolution that was presented. So if I can request Senator Caballero, Senator Laird, and I believe Senator Addis left already, but also Monterey County Board Supervisor Wendy Root Askew and Mary Adams to come up so we can take a quick photo before we commence with our next honorees. Okay, thank you so much. Can you join me one more time in just giving Mrs. Panetta just another round of applause? And so before we move on to our next awards, I do want to thank our state and federal legislators and county board of supervisors for preparing the certificates of recognition for all of honorees. Today, each honoree, so you know, will be receiving an award from the DWMC. In addition, they will receive certificates of recognition from our state and federal legislators and from our county board of supervisors. So on behalf of the Democratic Women of Monterey County, we thank all the elected officials for acknowledging the incredible contributions of our honorees. Thank you for your patience. And at the end, we will have an opportunity to bring up all of our legislators so we can take a picture, a photo with all of the honorees that we have today. So just in the interest of time, we want to move on to our next honorees. And our next honoree is for Outstanding Democratic Legislator. And now it is my honor and privilege to introduce our Outstanding Democratic Legislator Award to an incredible, tenacious, fierce, and committed leader who has dedicated her life to public service, Senator Ana Caballero. I have the distinguished honor of knowing Senator Caballero since she was the mayor of the city of Salinas and currently working alongside her as her district director for the 14th Senate District. She has been a role model and a mentor for my career as a public servant. She has made tremendous contributions to changing the political landscape and elevating the voices of the communities that she serves. She embodies the DWMC platforms of sustainability, equity, women's human rights, and women's political participation. She has an extensive history of integrating these values in our local government and now at our state government. Senator Caballero's leadership has inspired generations of young leaders to work hard and help build a strong community for the future. She has been a tireless advocate for families, farmers, veterans, working people, disabled, seniors, and our teachers. She is serving her second term as California Senator and is a woman of first. The first female mayor elected to the city of Salinas. The first Latina elected to represent the 28th Assembly District in 2006. That's a big round of applause. And in 2011, she served as the Secretary of Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency under Governor Brown. She was responsible for the oversight of the departments charged with funding affordable housing, civil rights enforcement, banking and financial transactions, consumer protections, and the licensing of 3 million working professionals. A graduate of UCLA Law School and UC San Diego, she has dedicated her professional life to families in rural California, first representing farm workers as an attorney for the California Rural Legal Assistance. She empowers working families and creates opportunities for them and their children to be prosperous and successful. Prior to her election to the Assembly, she established a nonprofit organization dedicated to youth violence prevention, which help parents and youth develop stronger family bonds and encourage healthy behavior, including supporting literacy, youth employment, and high school dropout prevention strategies. She is married to attorney Juan Uranga, who is currently enjoying retirement after representing farm workers for over 30 years. Thank you, Juan. As a legislator for her district, she is fierce, committed, and thoughtful in crafting legislation that is laser focused on and centered on addressing the social and economic inequalities, whether that be in water, housing, childcare, or education, and improving the lives of working families. In 2023, she secured $1.6 billion in financial support for all rural hospitals to support primary care, children's preventative care, maternal care, patient care services, behavioral health, and specialty services. She secured $432 million to install energy-efficient upgrades for low and moderate-income households, $20 million for the community of Pájaro to provide direct relief to families, and much more financial support to local cities in her district. In 2022, she secured $534.5 million to support Californians through the state budget process. During her long, distinguished career, her impactful legislation included bills critical to advancing democracy. In 2021, she authored SB 714, which creates new opportunities within the California Democratic Party to allow for non-citizens to participate in local county central committees and gain more experience and knowledge of what it is like to participate in our great democracy. In 2022, she authored SB 1142, Abortion Services, which creates a website housed under the California Health and Human Service Agency dedicated to information on abortion policies, resources, and services. In 2023, yes! In 2023, she also authored SBAB 112, the Distressed Hospital Loan Program, authored in response to the imminent closure of dozens of hospitals across the state, including 2 in her district. Thank you, Senator, for who you are and for the work you have done to make all of our lives and the lives of the future generations a better place to live. Now, please help me welcome Senator Ana Caballero.
You know, I think the introduction was longer than my speech, by far. Thank you very much for that, that wonderful introduction, Anna, and I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, the Democratic Women's Club of Monterey County for their incredible award ceremony for recognizing women that try to do our best to improve the conditions in our community, and I'm honored to share this stage with such incredible women. Truly, truly honored. I also want to, before I forget, and thank you, Sylvia Panetta, for reminding me, I need to introduce my husband. I always forget, and then I have to go home with him afterwards. So let me just tell you that Juan Uranga has not only been a great partner and confidant and political operative, but when he retired, he became my driver, and also he cooks dinner. And so what's better than that? But the funny thing is when I introduce him to people who don't know him, I tell them he's my Uberanga. Because his last name is Uranga, so he's my Uberanga. So thank you so much for always being by my side. And politics is a contact sport. It's more aggressive, I think, than football and basketball. And so to have a partner by your side makes all the difference in the world. And so for that, I'm eternally grateful. And congratulations to all the women that have received these awards as well. It's great to hear all the personal stories. And I want to thank the Democratic women for so many years of support and financial contributions. And I thought I'd take my time today to tell you a little bit about what has that bought you. What is it when you come to these events and you contribute and you become a member and you send in your money? What do you get other than the ability to socialize with people who are like-minded and who think a little bit more like you and who are committed to change in the community? You invest in individuals that are putting themselves out there, that are ending up on the ballot, and like I said, it is a contact sport, and many times the organization is the only organization that is supporting people. And so a little bit about my campaign is, you know, in the Salinas Valley, it didn't always used to be blue. And when I got to Salinas, just a few years ago, it was very, very red. And it took years for us to get people on boards and commissions and on city councils and school boards. And now we take it for granted the entire county is blue and that there are Democrats in really important positions and we can count on them to vote the way we want them to vote. But it wasn't always that way. And when I ran for the assembly, we had Simon Salinas for 6 years, but before that, we had Peter Frazetta. We had it in Republican hands, and he was crazy. He was bona fide crazy. And so the possibility that we could slip back into that kind of craziness was always there. And so now you see how lucky we are to have the Speaker of the State Assembly be from that assembly district. You realize that it has been an incredible investment in our community and in the politics of our community, and supporting me when I was in that seat so that I could protect that seat and do good things on behalf of all of you. And so now we have the Speaker of the Assembly. When I ran for the Senate, it had been in Republican hands for 25 years. The district at that time went through the Salinas Valley into the Central Valley. It now is just the Central Valley, and so I currently just represent the Central Valley, except for I'm caretaking the Salinas Valley and San Benito County for John Laird, who will be inheriting it when he wins the seat in 2 years. So that we're going to keep it in Democratic hands, but the key in all of that is that the investment that your organization made in me in 18 to run for a seat that had been in Republican hands was incredibly important. We did a whole series of House meetings because we found out that there was a large group of Democrats in that district. It was a Democratic district in Republican hands that voted during the presidential election but never in the off-year election. And we used to call them, if you're a precinct leader and you do this work organizing, we used to call them the lazy voters, right? They vote in the presidential election, they don't vote in the off election. And this seat was always in the off-year election. What we learned is that many of those people are people of color and or immigrants. And so part of the challenge that they know what a president does, or they think they know what a president does, but they don't know the difference between local government and state government and the federal government. And they don't know the difference between Democrats and Republicans and declined estates. And so part of what becomes important if you're going to get them excited, get them registered as Democrats, and get them out to vote when it's important, is to sit down and have a conversation about, here's what the Republicans are doing. Here's the difference with what the Democrats are doing. And to align the conversation with the things that are important to them. So your contributions to my campaign helped us to set up these House meetings, to have conversations with people, and have them learn together with their neighbors. And that made a tremendous difference. I'm proud to say that I won this second cycle with even more votes in areas, Madera, Merced, Fresno, that had been red for a long time. So it can be done. We need to commit ourselves. So I'm very impressed with the way that this particular event was put together. It's a call to action. We have some work to do. Why? Because right in the middle of the Central Valley, both in Merced and also in Bakersfield, we lost an opportunity the last election to elect Democrats. What difference did it make? It made a difference because Congress is now in the hands of the Republican. If we had won those two elections with just a couple more wins in other states, we'd have the House of Representatives right now. And Jimmy Panetta would be among a plurality, and we would not be in the situation we are today. So, call to action. We need to make sure that Rudy Salas gets elected, and we need to make sure that Adam Gray gets elected. Those are Democratic seats. We can get it done. Thank you very much to the Democratic Women's Party.
At the end, what we'll do is we'll ask all the honorees to come up so they can take a photo. So at this time, then we'll move on to our next honoree. And thank you so much again, Senator Caballero, for all the work that you do, and thank you so much for advancing our democracy. So now I am honored to also introduce our next honoree, Extraordinary Community Service Service Award, and this goes to Dr. Laura Solorio. Dr. Laura Solorio was born and raised in Hollister in a family that was civically engaged, as her father served on the San Benito County Board of Supervisors. She has called Salinas home for more than 30 years. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in biology from Stanford University and received her medical degree from the University of California, San Francisco. Her 30-year career as an internal medicine physician has included Director of Intensive Care Unit, Chief of Internal Medicine and Medical Director of Monterey County Health Department Clinics. And in 1993, she was named an Outstanding Woman of Monterey County by the Monterey County Commission on the Status of Women, and was named a Distinguished Fellow of CSUMB in the area of health. She has served on the boards of the Community Foundation, Monterey County, and the Center for Community Advocacy, a Salinas-based organization which helps farm workers to improve their health and living conditions. Dr. Solorio currently sits on the board of directors of the Elkhorn Slough Foundation and is the president of the Protect Monterey County, the organization which passed Measure Z in 2016, the no fracking, no waste injection, and no new oil wells. She enjoys hiking and gardening, and those are her favorite pastimes. She continues to support visionary and progressive women and candidates who are focused on improving the lives of people of Monterey County. Now it is my honor to welcome Dr. Laura Solorio.
Good afternoon, and thank you for your patience. First of all, I also want to thank the Democratic Women of Monterey County for all the work they do to support candidates who make a difference, and the work they do to keep us all informed about the issues that threaten our democracy. Running for office is a courageous and very expensive journey, and your help is so needed. I'm so proud to be honored with the other honorees. Sylvia Panetta, who I have known since Leon first ran for Congress in 1976, when I worked on his first congressional campaign to oust that darn Republican. Every time I saw Sylvia after that election, she always asked me how my parents, Henry and Jenny, were. And I thought, how does she remember that? Anyway, I also met Ana Caballero when I moved to Salinas in 1986, when a group of women who have become lifelong friends, and some who are here today, started a MANA scholarship for Latina students. Ana has inspired all of us for a long time with her dedication to public service. I look forward to learning more about Tanya Casa and Rosalind Green, whose bios are so impressive. My path in life was shaped by the generosity and commitment of my parents, Henry and Jenny Solorio. My father started his work in Hollister with the Community Service Organization, which is also the organization that Cesar Chavez started with, registering Latinos to vote. He went on to become one of the first Chicano mayors of Hollister and was elected to the Board of Supervisors. My mother was an activist in the farm labor camps and was a member of the Women in Black, an international organization who opposed war on all fronts. And she stood on the corner of 4th and San Benito Street every Friday afternoon. After college, I volunteered with the United Farm Workers at their medical clinics in Calexico and Coachella for 2 years. The UFW taught me the power of organizing to improve lives. If you worked in the clinics and there was an election, you were up at 4 or 5 in the morning to leaflet at the border. And there was no question that you had to go to work that day. You were just there. Working on local campaigns broadens my understanding of the community I live in. Most recently, I walked the streets of Pájaro in North County for the county supervisor's race last fall. I became so frustrated at their situation on a remote edge of Monterey County, and yet just over the bridge from Watsonville. There was no parking, the roads were in shambles, and the organizing in the past had failed to produce any changes. I found a sign dumped on the side of the road that read, "Juntos en Pájaro," together in Pájaro. The community had tried, but no one had listened, and then the rains came. The challenges ahead are probably some of the toughest we have ever faced. It will take our leaders, local, state, and federal, to make policies that provide affordable housing, that take care of the sick, that protect not just the environment, but the planet. Starting now, you can educate voters about SB 1137, passed by our state legislature, thankfully, in 2022, which does not allow oil or gas production within 3,200 feet of schools, homes, hospitals, or any building housing a business open to the public. Unfortunately, the oil companies placed a referendum on the November 2024 ballot to overturn that law, and they already have a war chest of over $20 million as of March 2023. I also just want to mention, even though Measure Z did not reach the end that we all wanted at the state Supreme Court, it was a very narrow decision, so that communities that have organized to block oil production in the hearts of their communities, their efforts still stand. So even though the Supreme Court did not vote for us, they did vote for a very narrow decision. So we are hopeful that we can continue to make changes. So I ask you to write those checks to candidates and causes you support. Walk the streets to talk to voters. It's always very interesting. Be at the polling place to protect everyone's right to vote, and also consider whether you should run for office. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Dr. Laura Solorio for all that she does and for all of the tenacity that she also has to continue the fight. So our next award is our Extraordinary Civic Leader Award, and this goes to Mrs. Rosalind Green. I am so proud and honored to present this next honoree, whom I met in 2020 when I was running for mayor, and I immediately connected with her passion and her commitment to change. She is a seaside native and has been a leader of activism for more than 35 years, advocating and organizing to end systemic racism, anti-Blackness, and gender inequalities. As part of the Seaside faith-based community, she has been unrelenting in building partnerships and pulling resources to strengthen community and decrease disparities. She is a founder of the Monterey County Black Caucus and co-founded the Monterey County Black and Brown Solidarity Coalition. She serves as a Building Healthy Communities BAC Director of Regional Black Power, Building and Justice Reinvestment. She was appointed by the Monterey County Board of Supervisors as District 4 Equal Opportunity and Civil Rights Commissioner, and is an uncontested candidate to serve as a and she's on the Monterey Peninsula College District Trustee, where she currently serves as chair. She is deeply vested in capacity building, youth support, and I think you see all the youth back there with her, right? Leadership development and public policy initiatives. She is vice chair of the California Community Black College Black Caucus, executive education chair for the NAACP Monterey County, and is a member of several statewide coalitions for education and anti-Blackness. She also organized a village project, Parent Advisory Council, Monterey Peninsula Unified School District African American Parent Advisory Council, and the Salinas Unified High School District African American Advisory Council. And she is a board chair of the Ladies First, a mentoring program for the girls of color. Please help me welcome my friend, Rosalind Green.
Thank you all for all those applause. So it is an honor and a privilege to be recognized today by the Democratic women of Monterey County as an extraordinary civic leader. One of my great mentors, the infamous Mr. Mel Mason, said, "Extraordinary was such an appropriate description for me."
Yeah.
I took it as a compliment. But to be here with such prestigious women, Mrs. Sylvia Panetta, Senator Ana Caballero, Dr. Laura Solorio, and my fellow sports mom, Tanya Costa. That is the definition of being in the midst of giants.
Yeah.
And although we are the women being recognized today, I have to show my gratitude to Mrs. Helen Rucker and Ruthie Watts, two women whose shoulders I stand on. They were here for as long as they could stay. And I certainly cannot overlook, but must acknowledge, our very own Secretary of Defense, Mr. Leon Panetta. And everything that you have done for us and for our country. Thank you. Civic leadership is being proactive in assessing the needs and inequalities of the community and finding solutions to those issues that foster equity and inclusion. That is part of the mission of the Monterey County Black Caucus. We focus our organizing on budgets and civil rights issues that directly impact racial equity, education equity, health equity, and economic equity. When I was appointed to MPC's Governing Board of Trustees in 2019, I joined the California Community College Black Caucus and immediately became vice chair, where I still serve, with much influence from our Secretary of State, Dr. Shirley Weber, and Assemblyman Chris Holden, who has been a hammer for the California Legislative Black Caucus, along with many others. It was then I envisioned the Monterey County Black Caucus. I realized this was exactly what we needed right here on the Central Coast to uplift what was left of the Black community, to keep our county rich in culture and diversity, of which we are well known for.
Yeah.
And soon after the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd, this vision came into fruition. Monterey County Black Caucus was established in 2020 under Building Healthy Communities, and we hit the ground running. This particular caucus is not only about political power, but also about people power.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have early childhood memories of then Congressman Panetta and Congressional First Lady Sylvia Panetta going door to door in Seaside to learn the priorities of the community. I'm a Seaside native born on the former Fort Ord, to my dad, a Vietnam veteran drill sergeant, and my mom, a civil service property book officer. My mom, who soon became a single mother of 6 because of my father's severe PTSD, had so much political knowledge and was the person that planted the seed in me to utilize my voice and my vote, and she did this through demonstration. So when the Panettas and their campaign team knocked on our door, my mom invited them in. I remember her offering them her Italian espresso that came in a little square tin can with green, white, and red stripes. This is where I witnessed civic leadership at work. My mom and the Panettas at the table discussing community priorities and sharing solutions. That memory has carried me and inspired me to take this pathway that I am so passionate about in serving people and cultivating leadership and building relationships. Monterey County Black Caucus will be presenting at the Democratic Women's of Monterey County's October luncheon. So that's where you can hear more about the work that we are doing on the ground. So before I take my seat, I want to acknowledge the people that are here supporting me and celebrating this moment. My Mayor and First Lady of Seaside, Ann and Rita Oglesby. City Councilwoman and NPUSD Principal of Dual Language Academy, Ms. Rita Burks, who's also my granddaughter's principal. NPUSD Principal of Central Coast, Dr. Diane Fitzpatrick. Building Healthy Community Organizers for the Monterey County Black Caucus, Deja Robinson. And our youth leader, Skylar Chubbs. Skylar also leads the Seaside Rising Youth Leadership Academy that runs every summer and ends with the summit in December. And my children, Tim Dunn, who is currently pursuing his master's and credentials in NPUSD Alder residency program with emphasis in special education. My daughter, Tanisha Dunn, who is also a Monterey County Black Caucus organizer. She coordinates our Juneteenth Seaside. She's a healing center practitioner and a community leader. My son, Evans Charles, who is a college student athlete seeking entrepreneurship, and my grandson, Evans III, was unable to join us today, but I couldn't go without mentioning them. Also here, my daughter, Paris Charles, who attends Monterey High and MPC dual enrollment. She is on her journey to becoming a sports medicine physician with a minor in law. And my granddaughter, Princess Mila Dunn, who is dreaming of becoming a doctor. This is my why. My North Star is to activate leadership to build an inclusive, anti-racist democracy so that my grandchildren are not protesting 20 years from now, but instead they will recite the Pledge of Allegiance with confidence and pride that we are one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. I leave you today with a call to action that aligns with today's theme, continuing to sustain democracy. Let's get our county out to vote for the 2024 elections. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that call to action and for reminding us of our why we do this, why we're here, and why this is important. So we are almost at the end, and I really want to thank you for your patience. I know we are running a little bit behind, but this is our last but not least of our awardees tonight, and it is my honor to be able to present the Extraordinary Community Service Award to Tanya Costa. And Tanya a 100% volunteer organization that provides immediate relief to ever-unfolding community needs. Whether it's continuing to operate their weekly food drive and clothing donation center at Seaside High School, delivering essential daily to neighborhoods without means of transportation, setting up holiday food drives through events, or even during COVID-19 through the vaccination clinics. Tanya and her team are bringing hopes, smiles, and rescue to families in our 831 area of Monterey County. With partnerships like the Food Bank for Monterey County and the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, as well as local family businesses like English.
Everybody here is so strong and tenacious and have these gigantic resumes, and I want to cry because I'm honored and I'm touched by just being in the company of all of you here. And you know, the question is, so I'm the only one who didn't send in a photo. Lisa and Laura messaged me 100 times, like, can you send in a 500-word essay about you? And I totally ignored them. The picture that they have of me is at English Ales from the newspaper, because I'm really, really shy about being here. And I think it's not shy, it feels unnatural to receive an award because all in is me paying it forward. And I'm literally gonna cry because I learned so much today. So, how did I get here? I don't know. I was a little girl who spent my life wishing I was someone else or a part of someone else's family. You know, that I wanted that picturesque life that wasn't given to me. And I grew up without a whole lot of self-esteem. And it followed me to my adulthood where I got married and wasn't happy, and I finally had my children who did make me happy. My son just graduated from Palma this past year, and my daughter graduated from Sac State. And I didn't even come from a family where I had to go to school. You know, it's just something that I wanted. So I wanted to be there and give my kids the life that I always wished for. And All In is a place where I've never been elected to anything. You know, I didn't author anything, but All In is a place where everybody belongs. You know, like our logo is a big yellow heart. And within that heart, we have people who've experienced domestic violence, people who've been homeless, people who've been sick, people who just need a friend. And then we have these wonderful donors who come and volunteer their time. Lots of people I've seen here. People who donate sandwiches, people who donate money. And once you get into this like yellow heart of ours, we're all the same. Like, I don't see you any different. And people always say to me, you know, I hate asking for help. And I stop them right there and I say, you're not asking for help. We're offering you kindness because you deserve it. And you're going to be okay. And that's, I mean, I guess I'm just super simple in the way that we are. And a lot of times I get from bigger organizations, what training do you use for your volunteers? And I said, we don't train. Everybody's here for their own reason, and I allow them to be who they are, because that's what's going to make them passionate. And you can't teach a good heart, and the people who come to All In are good people. We work well. We've been putting for 3 years now, and every day we're helping others. You know, Pajaro was brought up, and that's pretty much where All In's been focused since January. I got a call from, I was actually having lunch with Wendy Askew, and she got a phone call, and she looked at me and she said, Tanya, can you get to Pajaro? Where did she tell me to go? I went to San Ardo, and I said yes. And she's like, where can we get food? And I'm like, I'll buy pizza. We bought out the pizza. But, you know, I've been in Pajaro every 10 days or so, and a lot of people there, I don't even speak Spanish, but I speak their language because we speak kindness, and I've met so many friends, and I think that's where All In is I promised them when I first met them I'm not going to leave. And we partnered with the emergency management department, and you know, we opened up a warehouse full of love and kindness and all the things that the families of Pajaro need. And now that, you know, it's not in the forefront, people don't really know what's going on, my team still goes there once a week, and we tell people, we ask them, what do you need today? Today you're in your place, and you know, when we asked you 6 months ago, today's going to be different, and we're not leaving you. We are not leaving you, and we're going to be here, and we're going to give you everything you need, because I was embarrassed to say this, and I said it to all of them, I didn't even know Pajaro existed. I've lived in Monterey County for 20 years, and I didn't even know they existed, but now that I do, they're a part of my heart. And I'll be there every week until I know that they're close to being whole. And I think that's how I feel about all the people during COVID. You had to have like the fastest internet, or you had to, you know somebody to get the shot. And a lot of people were afraid of it. So I think Rosalind, Tanisha, we all partnered with that, and we went to the underserved or the unaware communities, and we said, we're not going to be in that contest to say like, oh, we gave 1 million shots today. I was like, we're going to have people there who are going to take their time, they're going to sit with you, and they're going to talk to you about it. And if you want it, you can have it. You don't have to be a citizenship, have documents to come in. We're going to embrace everybody, and I think that's where we are today, is that people know they can come to All In and be who they are, exactly who they are, and be accepted. So, anyhow, I am humbled to be in the company of the amazing people here today. I have learned a lot. I look forward to learning a lot more about the Democratic Women of Monterey County, because every person I've interacted with today is someone that I would like to learn more about. I'd like to sit down, and that's why I'm going to sit with you, I'm going to learn about you, and I'm going to love you. So anyhow, thank you. Sorry I didn't have big rah-rahs and a great speaker, but all the same, I'm simple, and I appreciate being here, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much, and sometimes all we need is a big heart, right, to be able to do the right thing. So I know.
Okay, folks, special announcement. Y'all were a very rough crowd for the auction, but we do have one more item. It is a very, very special, priceless item. It is a reflection of the heart and of the hard work and dedication that has gone into building today. And we choose to do this, and if all of my event team can come up with us, we choose to do this with an expression of love and care, like the DWMC tries to do within all of our community to advance where we're going. We want to this time, this special item, which is priceless, we want to express this special gift with a bouquet of flowers and a de-stressing gift certificate for 3 sessions, donated, wait, no, come back. Sorry, we've got, Laura, can you please come up here? Yes. Okay, so this priceless gift has got flowers, which are as well as a 3-session de-stressing gift certificate, and donated by Mike Dinkle Healing Arts, and a microneedling, facial, and acupuncture gifted by Gina Renee Laxton's Acupuncture, for an opportunity for all of the hard work for somebody very special to de-stress from all of this. And actually, it's been awarded to Laura Albahider. Laura, here you go. And with that, though, we do try to support our folks, so if anybody wants to make an additional donation, you can please do so online. Last thing of all, thank you to all of our incredible team, Nicole Hollingsworth, Karen Max Kelly, Josie Wilson, Allison Kerr, Zoe Carter, Margie Kay, and of course our President, Ana Velasquez. So thank you.
And thank you so much again. It's all about the vote, so let's make sure we're ready for 2024. Thank you.